It's tricky to determine the date for Easter because Easter is a movable feast. It's not like Christmas, which occurs on the same day every year. Rather, to a large extent, it's kind of based off the Jewish calendar, with some exceptions, and we'll get there. But the Jewish calendar is a lunisolar calendar, which means it's based partly on the cycles of the moon and the Earth's revolutions around the sun. And perhaps one of the best things about Easter is it's celebrated in the spring. Because the Gospels tell us that it was during Passover that Jesus was crucified, Easter was originally tied to the Passover feast observances in the Jewish community. Passover begins on the 15th of the month of Nisan in the Jewish calendar. This usually falls within March or April. The 15th of Nisan falls when the moon is full after the spring equinox, or when we have the equal amount of day and night. Simple, right? Wrong. I always wanted to flick a knife out like that. Because the moon's orbit is off from our daily cycle by 5 hours and 49 minutes every year, it means that we get a leap month in the Jewish calendar every so many years, for example in 2016. This allows them to synchronize the Jewish calendar with the lunar cycle, much like the Gregorian calendar adds a day every 4 years to February to keep our calendar in sync with the solar year. Got it? Wait. It gets more complicated. One of the big questions raised at the First Council of Nicaea in 325 AD was, when should we observe Easter? Because different churches were observing different days through the year. And also, because of the strife between the church and the synagogue during the first 300 years of the church's existence, their first rule was a rather knee-jerk one. We have to set a date that's independent from the Jewish community. Even though most of the early church observed Easter according to the Jewish calendar and dating for Passover. The second principle was we should all observe the same day, but then they never got around to specifying that. This resulted in a number of different views and some very strongly held disagreements. It was not until the Gregorian calendar was adopted around 1582 that the Western Church arrived at a uniform way to determine Easter. The first Sunday after the first full moon after March 21st, according to the Gregorian calendar. This means that Easter is observed somewhere between March 22nd and April 25th. The Eastern Orthodox Church based their dating of Easter off the Julian calendar, which is currently about 13 days different from the Gregorian calendar. However, even in countries that are predominantly Eastern Orthodox, they follow the Gregorian calendar in civil life. See how simple all this is? This means that March 21st, according to the Julian calendar, falls around April 3rd on the Gregorian calendar. So Easter falls somewhere between April 4th and May 8th in the Eastern churches. This year, Passover will be observed on April 15th, Friday night, until Saturday night, April 16th. According to the Gregorian calendar, the Western churches are going to observe Easter on April 17th. And according to the Julian calendar, the Eastern Orthodox churches are going to observe Easter on April 24th, a week after the Western churches. See how easy it is to date Easter?